All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm so glad we could finally get to the finals. You know, we went all virtual since March, so we've been doing this. Everyone's been working really, really hard, and I think all that effort will come through very clearly today in all the presentations that we're going to do today. Vic, you want to please start us off? Welcome everybody to the team and to this call, and then we'll go into the judge introductions.
Absolutely. So welcome everyone. I wanted to just give a bit of background. I think everyone kind of knows about TYE, T-I-E, and TYE, T-Y-E, but I'll give a quick overview. So TYE stands for Talent, Ideas, and Entrepreneurship. It also stands for the Indus Entrepreneurs. So this organization was founded in 1992 in Silicon Valley, and then it spread through several other chapters. So Boston was formed in 1997, and Vancouver was formed in 1999. And Praveen Varshney, who's leading our judging, was one of the co-founders and brought it to Vancouver in 1999. I had joined a decade later. So in 2009, I joined TYE Vancouver, and the mandate around TYE globally, there's 62 chapters across 17 countries, is to foster entrepreneurship. And when I joined, they made me, well, I say they made me, but I did volunteer. So it's a completely volunteer-driven organization. We actually pay dues to volunteer, if you believe that. So you got to pay to volunteer. But I became president. So I was nominated, became president, and then I went to some of the global meetings. And in the global meeting, I found out that some chapters were running the TYE Young Entrepreneur Program, so TYE. And right away in 2011, I said, this is awesome. Let's bring it to Vancouver. So it requires a lot of work. So I found two amazing entrepreneurs who had the energy and the drive to really take it on. So with Ratan and Amit, we founded 2011 TYE's first year. And we had students, we had entrepreneurs, and we ran a very, very good first year program. So good that we went to Atlanta and we won the global competition. So that was really cool. And since the 9 years that we've been running it, we've won 3 global competitions. So that's a pretty good track record. You know, that's batting 33%. And quite amazing when you look at in the world of entrepreneurship, in the world of 32 cities now take part in this program. So it's quite an accomplishment. And that goes to our students, of course, but also our volunteers, because without everyone's support, you can't do it. So the program kind of runs for a long time. There's about 20 Saturdays involved. We teach our young entrepreneurs about, on the academic side, it's kind of, you know, we try to make it hands-on, real lessons around finance, business law, marketing, sales, presentation skills, product management. How do you come up with an idea? How do you validate your idea? And a lot on confidence and public speaking and presentation skills. So these are lifelong traits that we want the kids to have and then to use and be fearless in every future opportunity. So that's the kind of thesis of this program, is it's a lifelong, you know, one of those lifelong events that, you know, you can take a course. We've taken many courses, and I can't remember those courses I took 10 years ago. But anybody who takes part in the TYE program will remember it for the rest of their lives. And we want them to not necessarily become entrepreneurs today. We want them to have the entrepreneurial way of thinking embedded into their being. And that's how, you know, the world wins when we have entrepreneurs thinking like entrepreneurs, no matter what they're doing. We get that creativity, we get that energy, and we get that 1+1 = 3 in that bump. So that's kind of the program and where we started. So we're in our 9th year this fall. We'll start our 10th year. So it'll be probably start virtually, but you know, we don't know if we can do it back in class session, and that would be fantastic. And speaking of in class, I wanted to give a couple kudos to our fantastic venue hosts. So in class, we have Faskin, and they got a beautiful boardroom up on the 29th floor in Bentall 5. That's our classroom. It's unbelievable. And KPMG, they have a beautiful facility just down the street, and their training room is our classroom. So another great facility. So lots of entrepreneurs, lots of people involved. And I want to speak to some of the numbers here. So I want to give huge kudos to the 2 program chairs for TYE, and that is Liju and He-Man. They're going to talk, and I want He-Man to talk after Liju. So I'm going to pass it over to Liju. Liju, share with us some of the numbers and statistics involved, and of course your thoughts, because you are a past student. So that's kind of important too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real honor to kind of be here, to be on the managing end of things and seeing students like once I was kind of go through the program. I found huge value in the program, and I came back, and it's a great opportunity for me to kind of give back to upcoming students, either going to university or pursuing an entrepreneurial journey. But as you mentioned, Vic, I think, you know, we had a lot of help throughout the entire program. Throughout our 13 sessions, we had 21 speakers and mentors. And just within the past 2 weeks, we had 10 judges join us. And I think really there's a saying that when there's children, it takes a community to raise them. I think that ideology is the same here when it comes to creating entrepreneurs as well. It's really the community of both mentors, speakers, judges, and of course organizers like us that really build strong students to have that entrepreneurial spirit going forward. I think that's all from me. I'll pass over to you, He-Man.
Thanks, Liju. So I'm He-Man. I've been with Vic at Phoronix for 10 years. I had a chance to work with him very closely on the product side. And after that, Vic left me. And that's like how I like to always put it. So he sold his shares and he moved on. And we've always stayed in touch. He's been a great mentor of mine. And he approached me in December to help out with the TYE program. I've helped come in and, you know, mentor and all that in the past, but never really had a chance to really work closely with the students on a weekly basis. So it was a lot of fun. I myself got to learn a lot from it too. So it's been an amazing run, and you know, looking forward to you know, bringing it all together today. And I sincerely appreciate everybody to come in today and joining us, and you know, watching these students, the amount of progress they've made. It's been amazing. So from day one to now, is you guys will see how much they've prepared for this. So enough about me. I just wanted to make sure that we get each judge to introduce themselves. So let's start with Charmaine. Charmaine's a 5-time Olympian, a member of the Order of Canada, and a speaker and a moderator. Charmaine, if you could please tell us a little bit about yourself today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, He-Man, and thank you, Vic, for having me as part of this esteemed panel of judges, and of course, Praveen for initiating this incredible opportunity. I am so honored to be amongst you all today, and you know, you young people are the future. of entrepreneurship here, not just in Canada, but around the world. So I applaud you all and congratulate you all for being part of these finals. This is so exciting, and just thrilled to be here with my fellow judges. I know it's taken a lot of hard work to get here, and being an entrepreneur was a lot like my own career in sports. I had the honor of competing for Canada when I came here first as an immigrant to Canada when I was very young, and it was sport that really connected me to this great country and the opportunities I've had around the world to be involved in many global sport organizations. And in the past year since my retirement from sport, as an entrepreneur, as a community advocate for sport athletes and many charities as well. And my past 10 years of focus, or actually past 20 years, has been as a corporate director on many advisory on some profit and nonprofit boards in the areas of sport, technology, health, wellness, real estate. So it kind of, goes through the gamut. But none of this could not happen without great teams around me. And certainly you all know the value of that. And here today, I look forward to hearing more about all of your projects. And I know judging is always hard, but I'll just take it over to you guys now to get ready for these presentations. But just want to say congratulations, and I'm very honored and touched to be part of today. Thank you.
You're muted, He-Man.
Sorry, thank you, Charmaine. I muted myself there. Judges, I want to make sure that you have the forms open in front of you, so please let me know if you have any problems with that. Up next is Dan Lionello, founder and CEO of Omni.com. He has a global sourcing, supply chain, and quality management platform. And Dan, if you could please tell us a bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I've been part of the Entrepreneurs Organization for, well, Praveen and I both joined the same year, and it was several years before most of these contestants were actually born, ironically. And been involved in multiple businesses, have a business that's a family business with my brothers. We bought our parents' business. It's a resort up in the Okanagan. And then I've had another company that it's pivoted really 3 major times. First manufacturing, and then sourcing, and now we're building out a manufacturing platform. I've also coached and consulted literally hundreds of companies and entrepreneurs, leadership teams. And one of the things that I'm remembering right now is I did a bunch of work with Junior Achievements years ago, and I guess it was probably a similar demographic to you guys, and I'm just amazed at both the thirst for learning and the ability to learn. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have put together. I'm very excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And Paulina Cameron, top 40 under 40 winner. Congratulations. CEO and of Forum for Women Entrepreneurs. And she educates and mentors women entrepreneurs, if I'm right. Paulina.
Thank you. You are right. That is one of the fun things I get to do. And I thought, just as I introduced myself, I also wanted to take a moment to recognize and acknowledge the land I'm calling in from. So I'm based on the unceded and stolen lands of the Coast Salish people, specifically the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And I raise my hands to the ancestors who have been stewards of this land that we now get to be on. Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you, Praveen, for inviting me and looping me in. I get to spend my days working with women entrepreneurs. I run a national charity that supports a few thousand entrepreneurs every year, few thousand women entrepreneurs every year in growing and scaling their businesses. I previously was a regional director at Futurepreneur, which is an organization that provides lending to young entrepreneurs that are starting their business. So being in the space of supporting entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs is something I've been working in for a while, but also I'm really passionate about. I love being around the energy. I love the stage of the ideas coming to life and bringing together the resources and the expertise and the community that can support you. The one thing that I often see with entrepreneurs, especially at the early stage, is can be an overwhelming sense of needing to have all the answers or having to figure it all out on your own. And I will say, for those of you who want to further pursue these ventures or these opportunities opportunities or any new ones down the line for you, know that there's a really great community in Vancouver and in Canada, and certainly globally as well, that will continue to be supporting you. I also have the honor of serving on a few boards locally here, the YWCA in Metro Vancouver, the Immigrant Employment Council of BC, and the Small Business Roundtable for the province of BC. So I'm so excited to hear what all of your ideas are and how you want to bring them to life and contribute to the communities around you. And thanks again for inviting me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paulina. Philip Postrowski, co-founder of Rent Mula, CMO at VOPay. Is it VOPay or VOPay? How do you pronounce it?
It's VOPay. It's VOPay. Yeah.
Thanks, Philip, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to Praveen and to Vic for having me back for a second year. I got to judge for the first time last year and was just blown away by the caliber of the presentations and inspired by all the ideas. And definitely the world is in a good place if there's those kind of young entrepreneurs heading into the world. Yeah, as was mentioned, I'm the co-founder of Remula, which now processes over $500 million in rent across North America. And I moved on from that, from day-to-day operations to VOPay, and we are a leader in open banking payments in Canada. And really looking forward to hearing the three groups present. May the best team win, but regardless of who wins, just the fact that you're here, you're a winner in my book. So great job, everyone.
Thank you, Philip. And I've got Praveen here too. Praveen, Director of Varsity Capital and Corporate Advisory Services. Praveen, you've been doing this for many years. If you could maybe tell us a little bit more about yourself.
For sure. Thanks, Manchu. So yeah, I'm a CPA by profession, and I work in a family office. I work with my father, who's a CPA like me, and my younger brother, who's a lawyer. And we were entrepreneurs for 10 years and, started a number of businesses, had some pretty good exits, and converted into a family office. So we just left to invest in entrepreneurs and work with them closely to help them grow and exit their businesses. And as Vic mentioned, we started this TYE program 9 years ago, and I've been a judge every year except I think one. And it always amazes me that you've got these grade 11 and 12 students, occasionally some grade 10s, and the quality of the ideas and the plans, and especially the pitches, right? When we're doing the live presentations, it takes a lot of courage and confidence to get up and present. And last year was a milestone for me because my son, Anish, who is in grade 12 now, but grade 11 last year, actually did the TYE program. So it was fun as an entrepreneur dad to see his son participate in a program like this. And so looking forward to the pitches. And as Philip said, congratulating everybody in advance because you're going to be part of our esteemed alumni that have gone through this program. And a lot of the kids who've gone through have gone on to do some amazing things. So yeah, good luck to everybody.
Thank you, Praveen. Sam, are you here? Sam?
I haven't seen him show up.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. I don't have any emails from him. Maybe he'll join us in a bit. I'll ping him again. If anyone is able to ping him, please do so as well. So excellent. Appreciate everybody's introductions. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. I'm just going to ping Sam. And in the meantime, everyone, hopefully you're all ready to present. We don't have to make you a presenter anymore, so you can take over. The first team to go will be Motivate. Second will be Virtual Estate. And third will be Aceso. And Katie, you have to graduate today, so congratulations on your graduation. So that's why you guys are going first.
Thank you.
And let me just see if Sam's around. Judges, you guys hopefully have the form open. Please fill it out as we go. It is mobile friendly as well. So you can even fill it out on your phone or your iPad while you're watching this presentation. And please submit it, submit the next form, and then submit the third form. And then at the end of it, we'll tally up the score.
Great. So I can do some story sharing. So I'll share one with you. This goes back to 2011 when we started. So they had this big, thick handbook. So the handbook was kind of thick, and we kind of looked at it and said, well, let's review it. So we reviewed it and glanced at it kind of, but didn't really follow it. And the big thing that we didn't follow was that we had a very open structure in Vancouver where everyone, all our students, would watch each other and even give feedback to each other on their presentation. The handbook at that time actually said the kids should not see each other's idea and should not learn from each other. Can you imagine that? So we didn't follow it in Vancouver, and in 2012, they changed it globally. So we gave feedback and we said, well, you know, this is probably not the right thing to do, because a lot of people were saying, well, how come you just started your first year and you won the global competition? So we told them what we did, and nothing to hide there, but we said, yeah, you know, we had a very, very good, bigger team effort where even the kids would learn off each other, and it's just way better when you can share your idea. So it kind of reminds me of you know, entrepreneurs who come and ask for a coffee today, and they say, well, you know, I want to have a coffee with you, but only if you sign my NDA. And, you know, that's kind of a joke with me. I'm like, okay, you know, we probably shouldn't have a coffee if you're going around asking people to sign an NDA on your idea. So, you know, I love the way that we run that in Vancouver. I wanted to share that quick story while we're waiting. D-Man, are you ready, or you want me to share another story?
One more story. I just, I'm hoping Sam will join us. If not, we'll get started in 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Sure. So another story that I really, really cherish is, you know, there's quite a few good stories, but so when we travel, so the traveling stories are fun in the sense that this is a global competition. So we want our Vancouver team to go and represent, and we've in the last 9 years now, this is the first time we're doing it virtually, which I'm extremely happy about that we can still do it. But the traveling part is kind of really fun. And I've chaperoned a couple teams, and Washington, D.C. was just an absolute amazing venue, and the way that the host team, the host chapter has to put on a bit of a show. So they have to give the tour of Washington, D.C. So the kids really got to take a lot in, and it was done at the George Mason University. And in 2014, we hosted in Vancouver. So we had to put on that show. And boy, we got an amazing city to put on the show, where we were asked again to be able to host it this year. And we said, no, we're not ready to do that. But it was going to be in Seattle, so our sister city very close by.
Very cool. Thanks, Vic. So team, Motivate, are you guys ready to present?
Actually, Himanshu, I just reached Sam on his phone, and he's dialing in. So maybe one more Vic story, and then he'll
Perfect.
be on.
One more Vic. Keep it coming, Vic. I love your stories.
Okay, so another good one. Let's see. So this year, one of the things that we also had is we had guest speakers come in. And this is a really amazing venue for entrepreneurs to come in and just share their life journey and their story. And some of the entrepreneurs that came in to do that are not necessarily what you'd call traditional, you know, technology entrepreneurs, or even, you know, brick and mortar entrepreneurs. One of them was Daniel Fox, who's carved out one of the most interesting lifestyle entrepreneur photographer, artist, um, all around ecology and nature. So quite an interesting story of how you can really reinvent. And this is all something he reinvented himself at about 10 years ago. So he basically said, I'm out. I don't want to do the regular rat race, and I want to create my own ethos and own lifestyle. So some of his lessons were very, very interesting and creative in the sense that this is not the normal path. And speaking of that, not the normal path, that is a lesson. So to the students, you've heard me say it countless times, but be fearless in life. Use the power of your youth to your advantage. No one's going to say no to you when you're young and you're looking to learn. So that's a key part there. If you're looking for something else, you might get a no. But if you're looking to learn and you can basically be genuine and say, I need your help because I want to learn about this, or I'm passionate about this, no one's going to say no to you. So that's going to be, the big takeaway of this entire program is to use that entrepreneurial way of thinking. No idea is bad. Validation is key.
Did Sam make it?
I don't see him yet.
I accepted a couple people in, but they didn't quite have names, so I'm not too sure.
There's a lot of TYEs here.
Well, actually, Himanshu, why don't you, I'll try him again, just share a little bit about, for the audience,
Yes.
the students, like I was asking the question about high schools represented and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the high schools we have here are Temanawis Secondary. I can never pronounce that properly. Notre Dame, Sir Winston Churchill. I've got St. George's Senior, Centennial, and Point Grey Secondary, and Sand Secondary. Did I miss any of the schools, guys?
I'm from Prince Orwell Secondary.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. Hey, there's Sam. I see him. He's just joining the audio.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
Great. So
Great.
sorry I'm late.
No problem. Sam, maybe if you could just give us a quick intro about yourself. Would love to hear about you, and then we'll get started into our first presentation.
Great. Well, I'm the founder of iVest Consumer Partners. We own M&M Foods and Spence Diamonds and a plush toy company, one of the largest in the world, called Dandy. And we invest in large size middle market companies. And my career as an entrepreneur and my friendship with Praveen Varshney has brought me here, and I've really enjoyed working with these young people and with this great group of people. So thank you so much for having me, and hopefully I can add some value.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Sam. So please do open that form in front of you, the Google form that we sent out. Hopefully you have it available to you. And so the judges will provide their scores and submit it. And at the end, it will say submit another form. So you're going to click on that link and then submit the second and the third form.
Great.
Okay, so I'll be monitoring that spreadsheet as we go. So, without further ado, we're perfectly on time. Motivate, I'll give you guys a stage if you want to share your screen. And also, if I may, please request everybody to mute themselves during the presentation. And right after the Motivate goes, we'll get each judge to provide their feedback, and we'll go until just 5 minutes before 2 o'clock, and then we'll move to 2 o'clock to virtual states. All right, guys, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nikita Chanana, and I have been dealing with dietary restrictions my entire life. Every time I go shopping, I can't just pick up a jar off the shelf and place it in my shopping cart. It just isn't that simple. I have to first check the endless list of ingredients to make sure that it's suitable for my diet. Besides the reality of this being time-consuming, I am often left feeling hesitant, feeling unaware of where the ingredients are truly from, feeling confused when I don't understand ingredients that are 20 letters long. My grocery store trips end up being over 2 hours long, and my shopping cart remains mostly empty or filled with the same minimal products that I finally trust after hours of research. Just like I have been restricted in my food intake, most of us, at some point in our lives, have been restricted by ingredients due to health, religion, or preferences. My colleagues and I saw such hesitancy and ingredient unawareness as a major issue that we wanted to create an innovative solution for. Again, I am Nikita Chanana, and on our team we have Aman Chopra, Jeff Sia, Katie Princess, and Bud Chanana. Let us welcome you to Motivate, where we eat with ease.
According to the Food Allergy Research and Education Corporation, 32 million Americans have food allergies, including 5.6 million children under the age of 18. 200,000 people require emergency medical care for allergic reactions due to food each year in the US, and more than 170 foods have been reported to cause allergic reactions. Additionally, a food allergy reaction sends someone to the emergency room every 3 minutes. This demonstrates that a significant portion of our global citizens are in fact affected by allergies alone. Here at Motivate, our mission is to provide a much faster and efficient way to determine which food products fit into one's diet. Nikita will now explain how Motivate achieves exactly that.
Motivate is an app that allows consumers to check what exact ingredients are in a packaged food item by scanning an item's barcode or entering its UPC number. It aims to target those people that have access to supermarkets and cellular devices. Consumers would be motivated to use the app through positive eating choices and would expect a reliable and easily accessible app with a simple user interface. Let us show you how the process works through our ideal marketing profile, Dietary Diana. Diana has left her house for post-secondary education and cooks for herself. She has a nut allergy and is restricted to eat certain foods due to her religion. She is really careful about the products she buys because once she got an allergic reaction and needed to be taken to the hospital. Reading through the entire ingredient list takes up too much of her time, and with juggling everything college life has to offer, Diana just has no extra time to spend in the grocery store. She needs to be more aware of the ingredients she consumes, so she reaches to Motivate. Motivate is just what Diana needs.
Diana begins by downloading Motivate from the App Store or Google Play Store. She creates an account by entering her personal information and filling out a personalized profile detailing her nut allergy and food restrictions. Upon setting up her profile, Diana will be taken to the main scanning screen. Here, she can scan or enter a product's UPC number to determine whether or not she can consume it. Along the bottom of the screen, Diana will also find the menu bar for easy access to the many different features within the app, which Aman will now elaborate on.
Motivate users have the option to use the free version of the app or purchase the premium version, which has a one-time fee of $4.99. The free version provides users with 10 scans per month, education on ingredients, and comes with advertisements. The premium version, on the other hand, gives users the ability to scan an unlimited amount of food products and provides detailed education on ingredients, explaining where the food item is derived from. In addition, users can track their steps and see their suggested calorie intake based on their basal metabolic rate, all while enjoying an ad-free experience. Users also get recipes tailored to their restrictions and a community of people with similar diets to interact with.
In order to gauge interest and gain traction for Motivate, we surveyed over 265 individuals about their diets. According to our survey, 86% did not know where their ingredients came from or what they consume. 60% of our respondents also hesitate before trying a new product. Such responses only confirm that this is a problem amongst our community and that we are taking appropriate and creative steps to resolve it. While our app is built on strong foundations, there are similar services that aim to alleviate the same pain. Who are our competitors, Amen?
Some main competitors would be Fujikate, Zipongo, and Epicurious. As you can see, Motivate is the only service that provides all 4 features: the scanning feature, the education on ingredients, recipes, and social networking with friends. Through this, Motivate seamlessly enables healthier behavior and satisfactory outcomes. Our value proposition is thus offering a convenient way to shop for those having trouble finding new products due to dietary restrictions. Our go-to-market plan for companies is to first contact local businesses and ask them for their interest in our app, namely through letters of intent. This will allow us to get brand partners who will be promoted on our app. Jeff will now acknowledge our brand partners.
Everland, Jiva Organics, Blizzballs, Fiberlife, Sweet Kings, Elemental Market, and Taj Manha are the brands that have offered to work with us. We also have ongoing discussions with Nature's Path, Sweet Cherubim, and Whole Foods. We will promote these companies on our app, and in return, they will sponsor us. By promoting their company and their products, we can aim to increase the sales while building our partnership with community organizations and acquiring our customers. We'll begin to recommend our brand partners' products for low and affordable costs. We'll gather our database from GSL's and Amazon's API. Our next step is to find users through in-person marketing at grocery stores and post-secondary institutions such as UBC and SFU. Next, we'll have ongoing discussions with dietitians who will recommend our app to their patients, professors who can suggest it to their students, and YouTubers who can promote it within their videos. After we have gained a certain amount of customers from such streams, we'll begin to receive fundings from our brand partners. We'll then be ready to go ahead with paid online marketing by targeting our ideal archetype through social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook. For our financial revenue model, it consists of payment by end users and by third party. We project that in 2021, based on estimated downloads of 10,000 users, our premium subscription will generate around roughly $2,500. And with ads and brand partners, we'll have $35,000. This trend will only continue to go up as we get more downloads in the years to come. Vensh will now acknowledge our board of advisors.
Our advisors entail Ratnam Bagga, Aidan Scott, Rajiv Bagga, Harmeet Singh, and Simar Shloka. We would like to thank them for mentoring us through this journey and truly appreciate their time and valuable insight.
This brings us to the end of our presentation, but not to the conclusion of our app. Motivate aims to alleviate the pains of millions across the globe by supporting both a healthier and a satisfactory lifestyle. What we put into our bodies is significant, and Motivate will ensure that our users make the decision that is right for them. Welcome to Motivate, where we eat with ease. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, team. Good job. If I can maybe get Charmaine to start, and then each judge can follow the other with your feedback.
Yeah, sorry about that. Take myself off mute. Yeah, I'd love to know a little bit more about the competitive landscape.
Yes, so as you mentioned, some of our competitors would be Fujikate, Zipongo, and Epicurious. We provide various features as compared to those features. There are other smaller, similar applications on the App Store and Google Play Store. However, we did look at the reviews, and according to the users, they said that the other smaller applications tend to crash. So these are our main competitors.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Can I ask a follow-up to that question since we're on this slide? You have 4 key features that are listed here. When you consider your customers, which of the features that you provide do you think would be the trigger for someone to move from a free version of the app to a paid one? Which of these features would they really want to pay for?
Yes, so I would say that the scanning feature and the education on ingredients would be the main target feature. And I say this because, likewise, Nikita said, many people have difficulty finding products that are suitable to their diets, and they often feel hesitant in wanting to eat something because they're not sure what type of effect it will have on their bodies. So with this, we can make it more efficient for them and convenient for them to find food products that are appropriate for their dietary restriction and or allergy.
In addition to what Aman has said, I truly believe that the social aspect, including the recipes and the community where you find the individuals with similar diet restrictions as you, is a true moving point where which makes you move from free to premium, because it gives you more access and more personalized information. Thank you.
This is Praveen. And so one great presentation, thank you very much. But one slide I didn't see or hear any information on is your ask. And so usually when you're doing a pitch, there's a ask for a certain amount of money with the use of proceeds, and then potentially a valuation slide. And just a lesson for you, your team, and the other teams, when it comes to actually taking investors on, there's money for the sake of money, but then there's that smart value add money, the investor that's going to just try and help you over and above and beyond a check. And one thing you learn from experience, even before you get to that smart value add money, you want value aligned money. Like that's more important, because you might get some smart investor, but all of a sudden they're asking you to do things that don't fit your values. And, that's going to be a recipe for disaster or divorce. So you got to get, value aligned money and then smart value add on top. And it's almost like, interviewing for your team. You want to hire slowly, fire quickly, but you're interviewing people to see if they want to be, if you want them on your cap table, like your shareholder list. So anyways, is there any ask?
Sorry, do you mean like task as in?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, like, are you looking for money to execute on this plan? Like you've got a good plan together, but it just doesn't happen usually on its own. Like usually takes some money.
Right. So as for now, we actually have contact all of, as you can tell, the sponsor, that we actually have some intent of letters with them. So as of for now, our money to start up is to build up the app and trying to get a customer base so that we can slowly roll out, having more funds to, slowly building our market share, I guess. So I would say we're not really looking for any investor. We're trying to partner with more grocery stores so that sort of help each other try to, it's a win-win situation. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Okay, sure. No, so that's a good answer, because often a lot of entrepreneurs have to, it's called bootstrap. They're basically just spending their, investing their time and maybe a bit of their own money, and maybe using some customer money, which is actually one of the best ways to grow a business. So you're going to bootstrap, and maybe later you do an actual round of financing.
Right.
Thank you.
All right.
Philip here, quick question for you guys. Thanks for the presentation. Can you explain to me how you're going to be getting data into your app? Because obviously a lot of data out there that has to go in, and then how do you make sure that data is correct Because if it's not, there's a big liability play there. So just curious on the whole data element of your app.
Yes, I can answer that. So for us, first of all, we do research of where do we get database from, right? So apparently, you can tell the biggest e-commerce company, Amazon, they have such a huge database. So we started going from there. And then we're looking for some similar service such as GS1. And if you really go looking at their websites, they actually provide you some kind of pricing for some kind of reliable database where they get the resources from. So we're thinking of a monthly or yearly subscription from their database. That's the first. Second of is for our sponsored and partnership, the companies and grocery store that we partner with, we actually got to a consent that they can share us their data in order to provide the customer, the users, a better experiences. In that case, I think when it comes to data transferring or like the sources, I think we will do a great job on that.
Okay, thanks for that answer. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. How did you identify this market opportunity? Because it's really smart. It seems as though there's only a couple of other businesses that are doing something similar. How did you guys come up with this? Because I think that what you consume is such a broad category and such a smart one. And again, I'm so impressed by the people that present here.
Nikita?
We came up with this idea because we, like I mentioned before, I follow a very specific dietary plan along with Almond and Bunch as well, and our entire family. So we wanted to help the community be more aware of ingredients, and so that there would be less trips to the hospital, or they would just know where the ingredients come from and what they are consuming, because what we put into our bodies is very significant, is very important, and it's important to be educated on it.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say that we mentioned that one of the dietary archetype where Diana, she used to spend time searching for the product that it's not best fit for her, like won't cause her any allergy reactions. So I guess what we're trying to do is trying to save time for those individuals who really in need are having troubles finding those perfect, or like just any products. We don't want anyone to have allergic reaction. So that's what we're trying to do, like to first reduce time finding the right product. Second, trying to solve, getting more people realize this is actually a really big deal in some places, communities. Yeah.
Can I add a follow-on question, please? It's Charmaine here again. Regarding the go-to-market strategy, I know that supermarkets and some of these products are very important. Have you spoke to some of the associations, like the Anaphylactic Association of Canada, the Heart and Stroke, and Diabetes, and other organizations like that, where health and nutrition are so important to all their constituents?
Thank you for your question. We have not currently spoke to those organizations, but we plan to do it so in the future.
Thank you.
Dan Leonello here. Question about the scope that you guys are envisioning. I think you said 10,000 users by 2023. Is that correct?
User in the first year, actually.
Okay, and then go ahead.
Yeah, so we're thinking, especially due to COVID-19, we came up with some ideas. I got, how is it? For the revenues, it's actually always going up, and well, this is what we projected, because at this for us, we can't really push our product into market anytime soon. especially during this shorter time. All those profit and financials is only like estimated. And so we just did a broad research. And even with our survey, we targeted those that within our ideal archetype. And that's how we get the 10,000 users by the first year. And we then think about maybe there will be more. So we just adding the estimated number going up. That's how we build this revenue model. Yeah.
I'm kind of following on Sam's comment about the market and understanding what you guys have here. And I think as Canadians, quite often we think small. My question is, you've got some competitors listed. Have you looked at what might happen as others, more people get involved or interested in the model that you've got, and also how you might scale if you found you needed to?
I think you might want to take over. Okay. I'll answer that. So for our current market, first of all, is we look at a lot of apps within our industry. So what we realized that we want to take this opportunity that Canada has such a variety of coming from different ethnicities and different family backgrounds. So we can use this opportunity to push into different kind of communities. That's why and then adding those features that other apps that did not offer, we think we can stand out within the competition. And hope that will answer the question. Sorry, I didn't catch up.
And in addition to what Jeff said, because it's on like a technological platform, it's accessible to everyone. Barcode system is like largely the same in North America. So later on, we plan on going worldwide and will be hopefully accessible to everyone or almost everyone.
Thank you.
I have a question. As we're currently in times where less people are going to grocery stores and getting food delivered, and that might continue to be a thing for certain groups of people, how can folks that use online delivery and food delivery companies utilize some of these features?
Thank you for the question. I will answer that. So we have partnered up with Elemental Market, in which most of this our business partners, like their products are featured on Elemental Market. Alongside, you just need the product's UPC number, so you can just add it in and see if the product is suitable for you, and just order it online. Thank you.
So just maybe a little follow on that, two things. So it's very reliant on the scan, right? So is there a manual way to sort of, put in the name of product if you just happen to be standing in an aisle and maybe that product for some reason scan doesn't work or what have you? And second part of my question, not related, but on the competitive piece, is there any information, although it wasn't put there, I always like to see what the competition is doing in terms of how, their revenues and maybe how long they took to get to, the break-even points, etc. So maybe there's one or two that might be on the same trajectory as you are now, potentially. But anyway, so two parts of that question sort of put so much on you, but thank you for answering what you can.
So could you please talk about that?
And Sherman, maybe you can succinctly repeat the question part of.
I guess the first one was around the scan. Is there a way to just, if the scan doesn't, if it's very reliant on obviously the scan working, is there a way to manually put in an ingredient? Is that option available? I'm sure it is. maybe it isn't, I don't know. And the second part of the question was around the competitive analysis, like how big are those other markets? Just to give an idea of the potential scalability.
Right.
Is that better?
Yeah. So I'll answer the first part actually. So and you can see from this app interface, we actually can enter the barcode number, but our database, since it's from other third parties and Amazon and the VH1, like I said before, so it's partially reliable on those grocery stores that we sponsored, we partnered with, and online third party. So at this point, we don't think we're going to change anything, but we'll make sure the data that we got from those or the grocery store that we partner with will be reliable to putting actual use. That's the first question. I will answer that way.
Answering the first part as well. Yes, you can click on the ingredients and see, like, get you educated on it. And every barcode has also UPC number, so it's easily accessible. And then if you want like just a specific ingredient, just search it up or like just click on it, and then you can on our app, and then you can also get educated on that specific ingredients. Thank you.
And I think Charmaine's question on competition was, you listed out the competitors, but do you have some more information on each one? Like, you know, which one's the largest and what kind of traction have they gotten and how long have they been in business? That kind of thing. So then you kind of know, you know, you're starting here and these people are over here.
Yeah. Maybe it's too much for today, but just as a general idea, like the addressable market is.
Right. I can do that. I do the marketing analysis for a bit. So basically, when I look over the data, most of the data is actually not available. But when I really look down to each company, looking at when they started, how the revenue model works, they, for example, for the scanning features, they actually most of them did not even partner with any other grocery stores or whatever. They actually use a thing called, they require users to scan the product so that every time they scan it, they can upload it to their database. And then, so they can pass. So when I saw that, I saw like opportunity because there's so many products out there, and you can't possibly ask customer to scan every single one. And that's why I thought of using, we have connections with the grocery stores where we can ask them for their database. Instead of customers scanning them for themselves and upload it, we have them provided within our database already. And I guess it's kind of different, but we think this will work better. And that's one of the things I observed during my marketing analysis.
And a comment on that, Jeff, if I may.
Yeah.
I think you're getting closer to what I'm envisioning as a possibility by that last statement. So well done, you guys.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Can I give an idea?
Yeah.
You know, it might be interesting if you know, the whole Walmart theory that when you go in there and sometimes you want to do a price check, you just go on the price check thing and it scans your price. You know, something that's sort of like almost like a kiosk in the grocery store. I don't know if that's come up as an idea, but I think that would be a simplistic way to also pivot on this potentially. So, you know, there's some gadget, you know, Motivate has it. So people that may not, again, if it wants to be open to everybody, that whole accessibility, right? It's not everybody might not have an iPhone or ability to scan. They might just have an old razor hanging around, Praveen, you know. So, you know, the ability to have some kind of kiosk in stores where they can just go up and put their can up and scan it and see. I don't know, just a thought. Maybe it's too much, but just a thought.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for your suggestion. We will definitely take it into account.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
one more possibility, you guys are partnering or working with Nature's Path, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and,
we have.
What would be the possibility that they could give you all of the nutritional data for all of their UPC codes and you've already got it in the system when people are going into the store? And as a matter of fact, anyone would have it in the system in any store they went to. For example, Bliss Balls, Nature's Path, the actual brands themselves. This may be both a marketing play and an ability to give everyone the function that you're looking for at the same time. It might change your financial model, is what I'm thinking.
So you're saying that they might use it as building up their own app, like using the data to.
No, if they were to put their nutritional information into your system, then I don't need to scan. I know what I'm looking for because the system's already telling me.
Yeah.
So take away the necessity to scan each time because the products that you're looking for are already listed in the system and easier to find.
Yes, it is very likely that we will be getting that because we have good relationships with them, and we have already advanced our negotiations, so we will already have it.
I guess what Nikita was trying to say is that we actually have in touch with them with letter intent. We email them. So for the future references, I think at least in the near future, they will be included under our system, I guess. Yeah.
And to add to that, actually, we do plan to have a feature that recommends products. So for example, Nature's Path, you would see on your app, you can use, or these products are right for you. So like, as to what you said, then that way they wouldn't have to go in and scan on the actual thing because it's right there in the app telling them you can eat this.
Which also goes to, I think it was Charmaine's question about home delivery.
I think that was
yes. So for
good to have a round table on this later on, but I'll stop asking.
Okay. Yeah. So for products that we have the database on, which will be all of them, it will recommend these products online, and also you can enter the UPC number, which you can find from the home delivery service, or for example, if you're shopping from Superstore online, you're getting your groceries delivered, you can also do it that way.
All right, excellent team. Any more questions from the judges? Excellent. So if I can please request all the judges to submit their feedback. I can give you all another 2-3 minutes if you like. And then we can go ahead and submit. I wanted to just make sure that everything works properly. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Paulina.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charmaine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got them all. Perfect.
Looks like you don't need a quick story, but I'll share a super quick one. So this is around business plans. So in the beginning, 2011, 12, and 13, we had to write, the teams had to write like the book, like a thick traditional business plan. One of those ones that gets written and then never read. So that was part of the competition back then. So today they don't do that. We work on the lean canvas, which is one sheet and it's agile. So you can keep adding to it, replacing to it, referencing it all the time. So that's kind of replaced a business plan. So that's a quick story there.
Thanks, Vic. Virtual Estate, you're up next. If you could please share your screen. All right, team, thank you very much. And if anyone can mute, and we'll get started now.
Good afternoon, judges. Today, we will be presenting our idea called Virtual Estate, a software application that automates the sale of real estate. Our team consists of myself, Swakdeep, and my 4 other group members, Rishi, Babjeet, Rahul, and Jaskiran. I think there's something playing. I think somebody needs to turn off their mic really quick.
I just want to say, if this Zoom call does get compromised, please expect another email from us, and we'll send you a new link to the Zoom thing. All right? Go ahead, guys.
Yeah. So finding a realtor is easy, though it can be very time-consuming along with being costly. This is the story of Ben. He was selling his house for the very first time and was outraged to find about the high commission rates of the buyer and seller's real estate agents. The extra money that he could have pocketed without this fee would have helped towards many other important things / goals. We knew then there had to be a better solution. The problem. In major cities like New York, Hong Kong, Vancouver, London, and Singapore, the fees for a real estate agent are sky high. They range from about 3 to 6% in Vancouver to about 1 to 2% in Hong Kong. Now, this may not seem a lot, but this amounts to $30,000 to a $60,000 payment on an average $1 million house in Vancouver, and a payment of $54,000 to $108,000 on an average $5.4 million house in Hong Kong. Sellers finally have an alternative to realtors that will save them thousands of dollars on their properties. So our service will provide software applications to help buyers and sellers fulfill their real estate needs. We will help them through the buying process, from getting loans to writing terms for a real estate transaction. This will be more cost-effective solution that will be more efficient and less time-consuming. And now Rishi will explain slide number 6.
So our service is aimed to remove the needs of a realtor completely. Our service would include most of everything that a real estate agent would do. So it starts by providing online lawyers to handle the paperwork for a real estate sale. There will be direct negotiations between the buyer and seller through our app, eliminating the need for any middlemen. An online listing tool to help sell or buy property that provides a specific algorithm that shows property values. This will help users know what's the best price to buy or sell. Finally, our service will be providing mortgage brokers that will help with the financing options to property purchases. Currently, we are in the process of creating an app for our business. Our app will be available to people who have mobile phones. As soon as you enter our app, you will be on the home or introduction page. This is a place where we will show consumers the different services that we have to offer. There will be a chat feature to be able to communicate with other people. There will be questionnaires to help find out what services our customers want through our app. There will be 3 additional tabs alongside the home tab, which are the services that we will provide. These are financing, search, and sell tab. Each tab can be set up by the consumer through our questionnaires, and afterwards, we will have more targeted questions to be able to suit their needs. We plan to introduce a feature to calculate the market price of units to be able to tell sellers the best price to sell their house, and for buyers to know whether a price is listed at a good price. So currently we've made a survey of 100 people across the Lower Mainland. 75 of these people were sellers that listed their properties through a realtor. Throughout our conversations with them, 79% felt that using a realtor was not worth the price that they paid and wanted a better online alternative. Additionally, we surveyed 25 realtors and real estate professionals, and we found that 19 out of 25 believed that the job of a realtor could be automated in the near future. So now moving on to Rahul.
All right, hi. So for our product validation, our plan to validate this product is to simply put through 2 separate beta releases of our software, with 1 beta test running in Vancouver, followed by another in New York. The beta product launches in these markets will feature regular updates to ensure your information is accurate, along with staying ahead of the curve. Through these tests, we will work closely with customers and overall consumers of our product to induce feedback that can be used to further enhance our software. We are also using a A/B testing method in which the variables at play are simply the location. This will validate whether or not our product is viable to growth in larger than 1 region. Lastly, we will be using marketing that is specialized towards early adopters in order to create a base for our product to grow from. Ideal profile. So our ideal consumer will be someone such as Techie Trevor here. Techie Trevor is an individual who is around the age group of 35 to 65 years old. Ideally, they will be experienced home builders who are financially in the middle to upper class. This character would be one who is experimental with up-and-coming technology and is looking to save money on selling their properties. So when it comes to our competition, the main one that is usually brought up is 1% Realty. Though 1% Realty's purpose is to offer a more cost-effective solution, it truly isn't cheaper than our service. It also isn't as efficient as you believe it might be, as there's still a middleman used to communicate, which takes up much needed time. Another tool is Realtor.ca, which is great for houses on sale by owners, as it helps give them much needed exposure. The buyers will most likely still have a realtor with them, which will add to the cost. And the site also doesn't provide how to finalize the contracts. See, our service is not only the cheaper one compared to competition, but it's also a more efficient platform for home sellers, and it will save them time through our online mortgage brokers and online lawyers. Target market. So our service is specifically looking to target experienced home builders across these 5 cities. These cities consist of London, Vancouver, Singapore, New York, and Hong Kong. We chose these markets due to them being the biggest markets in the world. And we feel it would be truly beneficial for our company's growth to build a base in these locations. The people we are looking to target are those that cannot afford to spend their hard-earned money on extra fees. So by targeting experienced home builders, our software would save them approximately 4 to 6% of their purchase price. Once this is calculated into the thousands of dollars that would be spent on a realtor, we feel this is truly the most cost-effective way to tackle the burden that selling a property could be, especially as the money saved can now be spent on the seller's new mortgage for say. We also would like to target experienced individuals and corporations who need to purchase properties without much time consumed, along with us being a more efficient and cost-effective solution. Now I will pass it over to Jez Kirit.
So now we'll talk about the marketing plan. So 65% of our business promoting will be on social media marketing platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and we will also have them recommend our company to people who are selling houses. And the other 35% of our business promoting will be done at events and in person. Marketing strategy. For our marketing strategy, we will begin with developing ideas and plans and end with creating a long-term growth, which will also help maintain our business and keep our customer and consumer base intact. We will also have platforms for self-discovery, such as our website and app that will allow the customer to know about our product, our easy to understand pricing, and also the benefits our company offers. Our go-to-market plan. Now, to ensure that our vision becomes a reality, we will have our go-to-market plan that revolves around our online platform, where we will sell direct to the consumer. These online platforms include our website and our app. Now moving on to PUBG.
The cross-platform application that we plan to make will cost us around $115,000 to develop. $80,000 will be put towards behind-the-scenes mechanics, $15,000 to make sure everything is working smoothly, and $13,000 to keep everything organized. We will also be spending $6,000 on the design aspect. We would be relying on our investors to cover these costs. Our main costs will be hiring 2 support agents as we grow as a business because we want to provide the best customer satisfaction to our customers. $50,000 will be set aside for marketing, $12,000 for keeping our application running, and $5,000 for our website. This totals to $127,000 annually. These costs will increase over time, and that can be seen in the following slides. It costs us $3,195 per customer to provide our services. Most of these costs are made up of legal fees for lawyers, and it costs us an average of $25 per customer on app-related expenses. Other costs that we calculated by dividing the number of customers by annual plans that we have with providers, and this averaged out to be about $1,000. We plan on charging a flat fee of $5,000 to purchase using our application, which costs us, like we saw in the previous slide, $3,195. We end up with about a 40% profit margin of about $1,830. And this is still more feasible for customers when compared to current alternatives. So using those prices alongside our fixed and initial expenses, we estimated that we will be able to break even in the second year and yield a full return on investment by year 3. This is a 5-year projection chart that summarizes the financial performance of our company. Our expenses from the previous slides you can see reflected here, and you might notice that we are in the red in the first year, but we expect to quickly recover from that and grow it later on. And that's it. I hope you find our startup investment worthy. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you, Virtual Estate. Good job. If I can have a judge volunteer.
Yeah, it's Philip here. Thanks for the presentation, everyone. Appreciate it. This is a very, very crowded space, and I'm just curious if you guys can recap how you guys are going to stand out from the competition. I imagine of a host of similar tools, so I'm just curious how you guys are going to stand out. If you can kind of deep dive into that, I would appreciate it. Thank you. And then I have one more question after that.
Okay. So what we will do that's different than the other competitors is that we will automate the sale, right? So in sites like Realtor.com, Zolo.com, Point2 Homes that are available in the greater Vancouver area. So what they do is they help you find the houses. We help you do that too, but we also help you with the contracts to get the, so you can properly purchase the properties, right? So we handle it all without a realtor. So sites like Realtor.com or like the other I mentioned, they would have a realtor that's posting those ads up for the owner, and he will take his commission. Over here, we offer a flat fee of $5,000, which is way lower than the competitors and what a realtor would charge anyways. So this does everything that a realtor would do, and there's not really any site like that does that.
Okay, and thanks for answering that. And then one more question, then one comment. When it comes to how you support the users from a marketing element, like open houses and virtual tours with a pandemic going on, can you kind of talk about what kind of services you provide there?
Okay. So for that, the owner will have to take his own photos. He'll have to have a photographer. But we do offer a product that's similar to one website, I can't recall, that will easily offer virtual tours. So the owner can get that product off our website and use it to help the users find the houses. So it will give 360 degrees virtual tours using that product. So that's one way we will help. And the other is, like we mentioned on this slide, there's a property value algorithm that we have. So when the seller and buyer are communicating, they will use our tool to navigate if it's a good buy or a bad buy. So we will tell them based on locations across and where the property is, determining by how many bedrooms, location. We will determine what their house is valued at, which will make it easy for them to negotiate.
Okay, thanks for that. And just one comment. I would definitely recommend that you guys just focus on one market to start. You mentioned a whole list of them.
Yeah.
And those are all very different markets with a lot of different regulations. I recommend you guys start in one market and learn from that, and then consider expanding after that. But I would definitely steer you away from doing multiple market launches at the same time.
Yeah, the original plan was to do Vancouver, but we had a suggestion that maybe if we go a little bit global, because further on when we compete in the global competition, we want to impact other cities. But yeah, we'll definitely think more about that. Yeah.
So I have a question on the broader business here. Like one thing I haven't understood about these sort of ideas is, I'm trying to save some money on commission, but how do I know I'm getting the best price? Like usually if I'm getting, a realtor, or I'm trying to get as many, bidders to get a high price, because I don't want to save a few grand, but I left, like tens of thousands of dollars on the table. So does this app help people, get the best prices as well?
Yeah, of course. Like I mentioned, the property values. So slide number 8.
Yeah, so on slide number 8, it shows a demonstration in which it basically shows you what your property is valued at, and you can either negotiate from there, and like both sides can see it. So the buyer can also see what it's valued at, along with the seller can see what their house is valued at, and it's just up to those two to discuss what price they're willing to meet at.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Sorry, I had a distraction.
This is Charmaine here. Congratulations on your presentation. It certainly takes a lot of work, and I guess to the first question from Phil around the addressable market, and that this is a very crowded space, but perhaps there's some niches within this space that you may look to dive into. I do agree with Praveen about the real sort of hyper local and building up from there, getting your MVP right. Your pricing model. Just on that particular question, pricing model, so 5,000, right? Is that for any size of property? Would that be from condos to multi-million-dollar homes? Is there a scaling offering in the price? So that's my first question. So why don't you answer that, and then I'll ask.
So for that question, we're planning to just have one set price, because no matter what type of property you're selling, you have the same service. This is sort of more do-it-yourself in that you're contacting other people using our service. So we just believe that it doesn't really matter what type of property you're selling, no matter the price. You have the same service, so it's just one fee for everyone.
And the second question is around, as a buyer, there's a lot of moving parts, from the legal side to the, your banking and all that. I mean, there's so many different pieces of that. So to that, and this is going to be an online platform. Tell me how, from the governance, from the real secure, like this has to be sort of a really secure site, right, from the insurance point of view, etc. So maybe you can speak about that particular.
Yeah.
So for the sites, oh wait, you got it, Jessica?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
So we will be spending, like we saw on the application page, although I didn't specifically specify, we will be spending quite a lot of money trying to make this app as secure and as easy to use as possible. We have quality assurance teams, and it's just to make sure that everything works smoothly. So yeah, we will definitely be securing our app, because we're aware that this is a lot of money potentially and a lot of risk.
Yeah, which is to my point about, somebody who may be buying every dollar is important to everybody at different levels, but somebody like servicing someone who's buying a condo versus somebody who's buying a multi-million-dollar property, there's different types of service levels, right? So is there an opportunity, even though you have that one price fits all, maybe there's some other price points in the menu that allow you to increase your service, so it's also more revenue for the company as well. So just want to throw that out there.
I'll ask, I have a couple questions. The first one is in similar vein to where Charmaine was sitting, which is my question's more around the liability. So what kind of considerations have you given around any liability contingent within your company if something goes poorly from a buyer or seller perspective and it has repercussions for you as a company? How have you considered those pieces?
So currently one consideration that we've made is that after a buyer and seller connect to each other, they tried to sell the house privately without using our service, which is why we're considering to have like a prepaid at the start for using our app. However, at the same time, we're sort of iffy about that, as we don't think that that's providing a good customer experience.
So like they would prepay in order to be able to connect with each other? Is that what you mean?
We're thinking prepay for buyers. I mean, sellers. We want sellers to prepay to be able to use our app.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few, like we're thinking about half of the money is upfront for our charge, and then the other half could be after the sale is gone through.
Yeah.
In order to enforce that they use the app?
So that's sort of our way to sort of safeguard that they continue to use our app. However, it's not totally foolproof at the moment.
Okay, gotcha. That's a little bit different though than my question. Understand that. My question is more around the liability that you could possibly hold as a company due to the transactional nature here. So say something doesn't go well, say buyer pulls back, there's either poor experience or actual liability connected to any of the pieces. Have you considered those, or do you have perhaps advisors that you're working with that can help you with that?
So yeah, we will be working with advisors more on that issue because we haven't really put thought into that question specifically. So we will work with advisors to solve that issue because that problem will arise sooner or later.
Okay, and then my last question combined with a comment, you've probably heard a few of the judges comment on kind of the crowded nature of the space and what is and isn't happening to it, along with any regulatory considerations as well. My comment is a little bit about the target market that you're looking at. So you had your persona up on the screen of your individual, and my thought consideration would be for you to think about perhaps what kind of properties your persona may or may not be purchasing or buying or selling, and as a way to differentiate yourself in a market, perhaps consider aligning what kind of properties you have and therefore also your revenue model and your fees and your engagement with the properties that that person would be buying. Presumably, 35 to 36 is a pretty broad range. Techie Trevor, I would guess, would be on the younger spectrum of that. They won't make any presumptions. But you may want to, even within that, define a bit further what he may be looking at and have that as a stronger point of differentiation and really tailor more towards that individual.
Okay, yeah, that'll definitely be something we will consider, yeah.
And if I were to add just one more thing, and I know another judge mentioned it, but I'll underscore it, you were considering going into various markets and you had US as a second one, strong consideration around the regulatory landscape and what that looks like when you go to different countries.
On the same token, guys, I'm wondering if you have mapped out the complete process and all the state changes that take place from the beginning to end on both sides. And the other is, have you talked to actual consumers and actual realtors about the journey and the sweet spots that you guys can touch along the way and where there might be challenges?
Yeah, so on slide number 9, we actually did talk to realtors. So our question was, do you believe this could be automated, right? Because 6 out of 25 of them said a human touch is important, right? Because just sellers, they need somebody to be there to see, if they don't get ripped off or anything. But yeah, we have talked to realtors, and their best advice was the same, that to target one place, because there's different regulatory laws and everything in different countries. So it was kind of much of an afterthought to kind of spread out and do kind of global. But our primary focus is Vancouver, and to comply with these laws, our product would work.
Maybe one consideration would be to read a book called Crossing the Chasm and find a very narrow niche that Techie Trevor is buying. So Techie Trevor might not be 35 to 60, he might be, or she might be. But one of the things that the book talks about is finding a place to focus, and maybe simpler transactions for first-time buyers might be okay. Although I would really talk to the first-time buyers and find out their mentality about buying a place sight unseen, and the fear that goes into people at the point when they're buying something, that taking that big bet on for the very first time.
Okay, right. We'll definitely look into that. Yeah.
Will this be done in various languages, or are you just starting in English?
No, we'll be starting in English. Yeah.
Okay. But if you're going overseas, then obviously that is additional funding.
Yeah. Like we said, we're gonna start with Vancouver, right? First, then branch out. Yeah.
All right, judges, any other questions there? Excellent. So Virtual State, good job. Thanks very much for all your hard work and your presentation. If I can please request the judges to submit their scores.
Thank you for all the feedback.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Good luck. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Great. So another quick story is around scale. So with this program, it's really in-depth, very detailed. The kids got to do a lot of time and dedication. 20 Saturdays is no small undertaking for the volunteers and also for the kids. On that, there's a side story. We used to start at 9 a.m. And that's a little early for kids. So we're entrepreneurial and agile. So we got feedback from the kids. And this happened last year. They voted and they said, well, we'd like to start at 10. So we said, that's great. We'll start at 10. So now this year we started at 10 too. And that flows a little better. But going back to the scale story, we touch a maximum of about 40 kids in a year. And in 2014, we did go beyond that. We had another chapter at TYE in Surrey. So that was cool, where we had 2 chapters running, a lot more work too, but that was a nice year where we had almost 60 kids in the program. But through TYE, through our program, Amit Sandhu and Ratan Bhaga created another bigger venue that scales further. And that's called YEL, the Young Entrepreneur Leadership Launchpad. And what they do is kind of what Dan mentioned earlier around what Junior Achievement does, is what they do is I wouldn't say they compete with Junior Achievement at all, because it's very different. Junior Achievement's mandate is more around teaching finance skills into the education system, not necessarily entrepreneurship. But YEL runs a similar program to TYE through the school system, and they partner with 10 school districts. So it's not as a heavy touch as what we do, but it's a fantastic undertaking that scales a program across BC at 10 school districts right now, and it's called Yale Canada. So they do have plans to even roll it out right across this nation. Back to you, Heman.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you, judges, for the scores. We've received them all. Aceso, let's start, and good luck. If you can please share your screen, and if everyone can please mute themselves.
All right, anytime, Julian.
Okay, good afternoon, judges. Our team is called Aceso. Aceso is the goddess of healing, and it's her name that encapsulates our mission very well. Here are the members of our team. We cherish our differences, but we value our commonalities even more. One thing that has plagued all of us is skin issues. Our skin comes into contact with a variety of cosmetics. We use it to treat wrinkles, acne, uneven skin tone, or to protect ourselves from the sun. But cosmetics often harm us more than do us good. And one of our team members, Timothy, has had this experience.
Okay, I am Timothy, and I am the product manager on our team. Everything in the photo above are products that I have to throw away. Why? There's nothing wrong with the product's quality. It's simply that I get skin irritation and sometimes allergies when using these products. So we interviewed many people to see if this is a common concern. One of our interviewees described acne creams as a gamble, since they either treat her acne or leave her skin itchy and red. Another describes the frustration of not being able to use the product because of its side effects. We also reached out to professionals to see if this is a prevalent issue. So I get my Accutane prescription from Dr. Sutan for my acne every month. She's incredibly helpful, kind, and knowledgeable. She said to me that skin irritation is the most common symptom that I treat. The most severe, skin cancer. Okay, so we know that skin irritation is common, but just exactly how common is this problem? Well, 41.4% of American adults claim to experience skin allergy. And just keep in mind, those who are not allergic to something may still experience irritation from using it. So now we know it's a huge problem, but how bad can it get? Well, on the left, we have warning labels of some of the most commonly used skincare ingredients, like salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide. On the right, we have what these products can cause. Why don't people just test out what they're irritated by and purchase their cosmetics accordingly? Well, the only way to find out what you are irritated by is called a patch test. This process requires 2 round trips to the dermatologist, 72 hours of patches attached to your back, offering no personal privacy nor convenience, and at a price point of $200. It's way more than what the average person can afford. So we at Aceso make cosmetic products work for you and for everyone else too. So this is our solution. No longer will you be waiting 6 months to see a dermatologist to take a 72-hour test containing 16 diluted samples of the most common skincare chemicals. Aceso lets you self-administer your irritation test. The kit includes different concentrations to precisely identify your sensitivity. So it works like this. The procedure is very intuitive. You open a lid, you take a Q-tip and submerge it into a chemical. You swap the chemical onto your forearm. Well, this is because the skin profile on your forearm is very similar to that on your face. And you can instantly know what chemicals are irritating. However, as we developed our product, we realized that our test kit do not have the stickiness. meaning that Aceso is probably just going to be a one-time purchase. So we made a pivot. Now, Brian is going to talk more about our pivot.
Interviewees love the idea of the Aceso kit, but they also wanted something to keep track of their skin irritation profile. And it makes sense. Why would Aceso make something to identify their irritant chemicals but not guide them towards the correct purchase? So this is exactly what our app does. On our app, you can find products that you need, such as sunscreen, acne cream, etc. And Aceso will filter out the products containing chemicals that irritate you. You can also look up any product on our catalog and identify if there's any chemicals that will harm you. Additional features of our app include a network of dermatologists whom you can seek advice from, and also detailed product analysis. As you can see on the left-hand side, the left phone screen, Aceso displays the chemical content of an acne pore cleanser. So using the data we collect, we are able to offer cosmetic companies a better advertising platform. With chemical data and with purchasing and viewer trends of our users, cosmetic companies can make products that irritate as few people as possible. And because we're not a social media platform, users go on our app specifically to find and buy products. That's why when advertisers use our platform, they will achieve higher click-through and conversion rates and achieve their marketing success. So just to reiterate, Timothy, our value proposition is simple. Aceso makes cosmetic products work for you and for everyone else too. And yes, we get that Aceso allows users to purchase the right products, saving them time and money. But how does it benefit everyone else? Well, in the case of cosmetic companies, when we match the people with the right skin profile to the right products, we help companies achieve higher product satisfaction and unleash the product's full potential. What about everyone else not involved in this transaction? We at Aceso realize that a business is not about making money. It's about finding a higher purpose. So a secondary effect of our Aceso kit is to benefit stakeholders because we reduce wastage and reduce the amount of trash that ends up in the ocean or the landfill. So let's have Gurpreet give us a summary of how well our product is supported in the market.
Yeah, so how do we know that product we just showcased what our customers want? So we have determined a great need for Aceso by surveying 150 people. Most people are willing to pay $12 to purchase an irritation kit in the developing period. And 70% of people has stopped using the product and wasted it after the sign of irritation. And to confirm the utility of our app preference, 93% of respondents said the app would complement the test kit. Now, based on the demographics of our survey, our market personas are Sporty Steven and Social Sarah. Sporty Steven engages in physical activity, plays soccer, basketball, and sweats a lot, and is also going through puberty right now. And Social Sarah, on the other side, is a middle-aged woman who is self-conscious of her wrinkles and dark spots, and they both use cosmetics to treat skin issues. Our marketing campaign will begin with creating awareness. This means reaching as many people as possible through social media ads, as opposed to successful conversion. We want to create familiarity of our brand. Next, we'll be sponsoring YouTube skincare creators who have an audience that will fit within our niche. Thirdly, to ensure continuous engagement with the Aceso brand, our app provides a convenient tool to aid in any cosmetic purchase. Now, the closest competitor, we have the encumbering patch testing. We will, of course, distribute a product from a separate channel for patch testing and offer a price and convenience advantage. Benadryl and aloe vera are widely available, but although they treat irritation, they cannot identify harmful chemicals and may cause severe side effects. Now to Brian, who will explain our financials of Aceso.
So, as Gurpreet mentioned, our product is targeted towards a completely new market. There are no direct competitors with us right now. And that is why by year 10, we project that we can achieve 5% penetration. And yes, it's possible that a market entrant will appear, but this is the nature of the allergen test market. The consumer lifetime value is only the consumer's first purchase. And thus, if a market entrant does appear, they would be advertising to people that have already bought Aceso and would not need another allergen kit anymore. But even disregarding all that, if a market entrant does appear, we see that the market is big enough for us to attain still a 5% penetration. So our margin is 92%. Our cost of goods sold is 38 cents. We use economies of scale, and we buy chemicals in bulk to raise our profit margins. We sell this $5 to the retailer sells it $12 to the end consumer. We give our retailers a 58% margin, which is higher than the industry average of 40%. And at a price point of $12 to the end consumer, this product is neither excessively cheap or expensive, but within the Goldilocks zone of most cosmetic products. The projected expenses of our first year looks like this. As Gurpreet mentioned as well, we will be spending heavily in the initial years on marketing to create familiarity and recognition with our brand. We will contract the app design, and we will hire a logistics manager and SEO marketer. So to summarize all the financial aspects, we believe that at the end of our 10-year projection period, our business will be worth $30 million. And yes, it's a huge number, but we have to remember that this is a completely new market with millions of people and no entrants. We can justify a very high growth rate in the initial years, but as our company matures, we acknowledge that the revenue growth rate will slow down and converge upon the industry growth rate of 5.24%. And since the business aspects of this presentation are over, let's have Jillian recap our whole presentation.
So what we want to say here is that we want to make life easy for the average cosmetic consumer. Paying for products that work and won't harm you should be something that's accessible. By democratizing skin irritation testing, we help both Sporty Steven and Social Sarah achieve better health outcomes and save them money. By helping the cosmetic consumer, we help cosmetic companies whose products reach the wrong people. And by making this process more efficient, we reduce wastage. And this all starts with Aceso. We would now like to take this time to thank our board of directors for advising us throughout this whole process. We have included input from our amazing TYE mentors, past TYE participants, high school and university teaching staff, as well as dermatologists who have helped us come this far. We thank you for taking your time for listening to our presentation, and we would now like to open the floor to any questions.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you very much. Yeah, I totally resonate with what you're working on. And a lot of us know that for good health, you need to have, a good diet, a clean diet. So, it's pretty simple, as the first presentation outlined, when you read a label, if there's words you can't pronounce or don't know what they mean, that's frankenfood, right? That's not, or another way people look at it is, real foods don't have ingredients. Real food is an ingredient. And when it comes to good health, cleaning up your environment is also critical. And your skin, as you would know well, is the largest organ. And so, soap, shampoos, deodorants, everything that people put on their body, it's the same thing. You read the label, if there's words on there you can't pronounce or don't know what they mean, that's probably not a good thing, right? And it doesn't kill you right away. It's a slow cumulative buildup that's probably going to get you. But so my question though is, I'm still unclear on the revenue model. So if someone could just elaborate on that a bit, please.
Okay, so in the beginning years, in the initial years, because we've spent so much on marketing, we can afford to project a high growth rate. And then by year 10, as our company matures, and as kind of as the number of people that have not bought the product already gets smaller, then the growth becomes slower and slower because there's less people out there that have not bought Aceso already. So we conservatively predict that by year 10, the revenue growth rate will reach 5.24%. I think another part of your question is like the revenue between the Aceso kit itself and the marketing revenue as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, just the individual.
Okay, for sure. So these are the advertising stats for Facebook. So for Facebook, the cost per click is $2.37 if we average beauty and healthcare, right? That's the average price advertisers bid for. And the average conversion rate is 9%. So what we did here is we used the same cost per click as Facebook, even though our company would have a higher conversion rate because everyone on the app is like right there to buy skincare products. But we still conservatively use $2.37 so that we don't kind of overstate our earnings. And then we also factored in the lifestyle app retention rate, which is 27%. And so we combine all these factors together. Oh, sorry about that. And this is a summary of our financials. So the marketing, the advertising revenue would prop our company up a bit, but our company can still be a business without the marketing. So just the kit itself would create quite a good company value. So this graph shows our business without the marketing, and this graph right here shows our business with the marketing revenue. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's good. That one slide did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Charmaine here. Thank you for your excellent presentation. I'm certainly a user of a lot of skincare products, and we also have a company in the e-commerce business in this space. So this is really cool. Just a quick question around where is the product actually going to be made? Would there be any, is that a Canadian solution, North America, offshore? Just give a little idea of that.
Yep.
And also, is there an exit opportunity, and who would that possibly be?
Thank you for your question. So our manufacturing, we're not like leasing a factory, so we'll be kind of contracting the factory work. And because our projections are only based on North America so far, it will be factories in North America. And yes, the manufacturing and labor costs will be 4 cents per unit, and that's based on a $45 operating rate for a blow molding machine, and also of 12,000 containers made per hour. That's how we got that. And then for your, sorry, what was your second question again?
Was around, is there a possible exit or a partnership strategy? That was my question.
Yeah, okay. So with our financial projections, at the 10-year mark, it's worth $10 million, but there's, our company could exist until eternity so that we feel 100% of, that we achieve 100% penetration. So we do see this as a valuable business for companies that prioritize data, because we have data about all these chemicals. We have everyone's skin profile. So yes, we're positioning ourselves to be kind of a tech company, and that would give us a higher valuation, and that would also create more urgency to acquire our company.
I would just like to add, like, we're not inventing a new solution to a problem. We are using like existing solutions to target at a problem that's not like well addressed. So like the technologies involved in making our product is really like already standardized. Like you can make it anywhere. So like manufacturer is not like really a huge concern for us, because you can basically just like rent like any factory like in Canada or US or anywhere in the world basically, and you can make this product very easily.
So if I can add on to that last statement, Timothy, right now you guys are looking at a 10-year runway. Are you what are you prepared to do if it turns out that you need to have a 10-month runway because of that last statement about the fact that others could come into the market and take it over quickly based on you guys just where you're at right now?
I am not specialized on the finance side, so Brian could probably address this issue better.
Yes. So for our for our market size, we're kind of understating our penetration because there's no competitors in this market, yet we're conservatively predicting a 5% penetration. So we determine this number out of kind of consideration for the fact that there would be market entrants, but it wouldn't be kind of worth it for them to enter into the market because the customer lifetime value of our users is just their first purchase, right? So once someone buys an allergy detection kit, they don't need to buy a new allergy detection kit because they already know what they're allergic to. So if we kind of, if the situation is that there are no market entrants, then our penetration would reach 10%, 15%, right? Neutrogena, which is a very common skincare brand, has 17% market share, and their product is not a generalized product. Their product is for like a specific issue, but Aceso here is for it's kind of the building block of cosmetic products, because you have to test yourself to see what you can use. But Neutrogena, as a company that doesn't make kind of necessity products like Aceso, having achieved 17% market share, we feel that if entrants don't appear, we could reach that penetration rate as well.
Thanks everyone. Thanks team. That was a really good presentation. You've done a great job answering questions. Some of them I had as well. This will be a little bit of, I guess, a early stage technical question, which was around the testing of the allergens or reactions. You said, you know, you'd put it on your skin, you self-administer, and then, thanks for the slides, you'd have sign of irritations within 5 minutes. So I get that for things that are specifically allergens, but what about ingredients that don't cause immediate irritation, but for example, might lead to reactions over long term, you know, like facial, some people react differently to different kinds of facial oils, but that only appears after using it for a few days in a row. So how would that play in here? Because if you're then recommending products based on, you know, there's no irritation to this, but then the products do cause unwelcome effects, how would that loop go around?
Okay, yes, I totally understand the question. So this is another advantage that we have over the patch testing solution. So because the way our product is structured, our users can test like chemicals on their skins repeatedly. So like, as you said, maybe a face, like, I don't know, a cream, don't like manifest, or like a chemical doesn't manifest its effect, like not in like a short term. It only like displays signs of like irritation in like a week or so. Well, like the user, if like he or she just want to be safe, like he or she can just test on their skin for like a week or so, because like the amount of chemicals that we have in our skin, in our product, like you can use it for multiple times. Like not like the patch testing, which like you can only do it once, and then like you can't test it anymore. You gotta throw it away.
So I guess another value proposition for you could be then, you know, if I had a reaction to a product, presumably onesie that was more natural, had like 5 ingredients, I could look at those 5 ingredients and test each one of them individually to determine which one would be causing irritation, and then kind of have a backwards model too, which is an interesting proposition. Cool, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Just a quick, sorry, just this.
Oh no, go ahead. I'll just wait for you to ask your question.
Okay, thanks, Phil. Regarding, I guess part of that would be access to the dermatologists who you have available. So it is obviously, I would assume that would be an extra cost.
Yep. So the additional feature we shown here, it hasn't been, like the revenue from this has not been incorporated to our financial model. And that is because we know that like telemedicine services already exist. But this is to show kind of the potential of our app and kind of the inclusiveness with how much we can incorporate into one service. So we didn't consider any potential revenue that we can generate from the dermatologist network, but it's there as to kind of show the direction of our software.
And what's the lifetime of the package? Like, could, you know, you buy it and you can use it up to a year, 2 years? What's the life cycle?
It's pretty much just like before it runs out. Like, there is no like expiring dates for like chemicals, because we don't like, there's nothing organic. It's just chemicals diluted with water. It's very simple, so very simple solution, and like it doesn't really sort of like gets bad or like ineffective over time.
Do you know that for a fact? Is it that long? But that would be an interesting question, because if you test it, you know, in January, and then, oh, I bought something else in, you know, September, is it still, you know, just to make sure that the consistency of the process is good from day one to, you know, 6 months to a year in. So that would be just interesting to have a better idea of that.
We have designed like our kit for it to like be used as long as possible, but then yeah, we did not do actual testing or like a lot of research into how long our product is like remain effective. We'll take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Philip here. Yeah, great presentation. Definitely like the idea. Curious, you said there's nothing really new with the product itself, which is totally fine. But in terms of the process, is there anything that's patentable, you think, or have you looked into that, just from a pure process standpoint? Because that's where many patents are created, is not something new, but a process that is new.
We have not looked into patents regarding the process so far, but we will be looking into that for sure to kind of protect our market even more. Thank you for that suggestion.
Okay.
And all ages can use this, so just be just as good for a toddler to someone who's older?
Yes. So we didn't really specifically focus on this, but we offer chemicals at different concentration. So like, even if you are perhaps like 10 years old, like you're younger, although you might not need like to use a skincare product at 10 years old, but like if you're younger and your skin is more sensitive, you can try like the lower concentration chemicals. And if you're like probably an adult, your skin might not react, like might not be very sensitive. You can just try like a higher concentration to see if like you get irritated by it. Also, like in skincare, usually the higher the concentration of a chemical, the more effective it is. But also like the more effective it is, the more likely it is to cause an irritation. Like a 5% salicylic acid can cause a totally different effect from like a 2% salicylic acid. Like I know that because I tried it. Yeah, so like another like benefit of our product is to allow our users to determine the best concentration for them.
Will you have an express kit version? So there's sort of something that, you know, might be that dermatologists could sell from their offices, or maybe some of the associations, like, you know, Skin Cancer Association or what have you. So I'm just looking at other revenue areas.
Yes, that is for sure a great channel to distribute our product. But I guess the more substantial part of this is we kind of want to make Aceso seem like a do-it-yourself product, like accessible. You can self-administer it instead of like, I guess positioning near a dermatologist would make it seem maybe technical. So we want this to be an accessible product, just like a shampoo, like everyone can use it. But yes, positioning our product in dermatology centers would greatly add to our finances.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, judges? Any other feedback? Well done, team.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent job, guys. You know, all three teams, you guys did a wonderful job. I think over time, we've seen your presentations progress, and we can really see the difference in not just your presentation slides, but also your presentation skills. You guys have come a long way. So good job. Kudos on that.
Nice job.
So if I may, I'm going to quickly check. Wow, I love Google spreadsheets. Look how fast that is. All right, so go ahead. Yes, Dick.
I miss those days when Praveen would basically take the judges into a side room and they would convene and they would discuss for 15 minutes and then
Have a
come
couple
back.
of beers. Yeah.
Me too. I miss this. We had donuts and snacks.
The bagels next time, Praveen.
Yeah, I know. I do miss the snacks and the in-person, and of course we'll get back there. This is temporary times, but a couple of stories. So one is absolutely echo He-Man's, and this happens every year, and I just love seeing it, where the improvement of where the kids started and where they are now, and even in the last week, even in the last 2 weeks, the last month, the pivots, the bird walk of entrepreneurship is evident. So teams, congratulations. What amazing polish you guys have put on the presentations. You guys have completely practiced the public speaking, and you know there was none, you know, of that reading going on, which is so critical. So you know, I think I'm very proud of you, and this is a massive, massive improvement and undertaking that you guys have been on, and that goes into the second part, which is around taking credit. So make sure you take credit for this program. In fact, the local universities, SFU and UBC, recognize TYE. So make sure you put that on your curriculum and your reference letters, advertise it. If you need a letter of reference, we're happy to provide one. So many past alumni students have requested letters to get into BD or University of Western's Ivy School. We provide those letters. So take credit for the program. You guys are all champions, but of course, one person, one of our teams is going to get further mentored by all of us, including the students who are all part of this program. So we're still going to carry on in terms of coaching and mentoring and helping our winning team go to the TYE Globals, which is on Zoom and being held and hosted by the Seattle chapter. And that happens on next month. So exactly a month from now, July 19th and 20th. Back to you, Hima.
So how do I do this, Vic? This was
well, you know, traditionally how we've
so
done
close.
It is,
yeah.
Traditionally how we've done it is we've let Praveen do the unveiling, but I don't know if that's possible in our scenario here today. So I think you'll have to do it, Hima. You'll have to do a synopsis, rundown, and do an announcement.
All right. Teams, great job. It was a close one. I think at the end of the day, you guys all worked very hard, and you know, without you know delaying it too much, I wanted to announce the winner of this competition, and it is Aceso.
You're my clapping.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
The funny thing is you can't even yell on.
Thank you so much.
Well done, guys. Good
Really
job.
good.
Really good.
Yeah, and you know, I was talking to Charmaine earlier this morning, and every year I say this, and I'll say it again, but you know, I know when I was in high school, grade 10, 11, 12, there's no way I could have had the poise and confidence to, you know, do this, let alone, you know, do the presentation. So kudos, as Vic said, to all of you on all that.
Well, especially to the judges, thank you so much for taking the time to provide all your great feedback. I think it will definitely help the teams. I will be sharing your feedback with each one of your the teams, just like we did with the pre-final competition. And we will definitely take that feedback with the Aceso team so we can help them win the global competition. So perhaps we may call on you one more time as we go through and go through a practice round before the global competition. And if anyone's interested, we'd love to bring you in and you know, show you just how they've progressed again after more practice and more refinements.
And you know, as a lead judge, I just want to thank Vic for his leadership, and Himanshu for you, and Leeju for running the program this year, another successful year. And I also, at the parents, I don't know how many are on the call here right now, but I, as a dad last year, I remember having to drive Manish to the program. So thanks to the parents as well. And Vic brought it up earlier. I was driving Anish to the first session at 9, and he was supposed to bring a few friends out. And I'm like, well, where are your friends? He goes, well, they didn't want to get up. And it was like a simple idea from him. He goes, well, why the hell are you starting at 9? You know, why can't you just start later? And I go, yeah, it's a Saturday weekend. So we made that shift. But also big thank you to the students, because, you know, you're showing a lot of initiative to, you know, take a full Saturday out of your, you know, weekend when you could be, you know, out having fun. And so just keep up that work ethic, and you're all going to be very successful.
Keep working hard. Keep working hard. You guys are all so awesome. So awesome. What an honor to be part of this.
Really well done, everyone. I hope you take the time to celebrate today. It's important to celebrate these wins. And all of you, in our minds, are winners, to be very clear. You've all worked so hard, and it's that hard work that will continue staying with you.
I echo that, Philip here. And I'm happy to offer to the winning team and to all the teams, if you guys want individual feedback or one-on-one coaching for the next phase, I'm more than happy to do that. I offered that last year. And yeah, happy to support you guys in the next stage, regardless of how you did today. So great job again.
Yep, you too. Absolutely.
I'll echo the same of the other judges. Praveen, I was thinking back to when I was that age, and yeah, no, I wasn't doing this, I can tell you. You guys are doing an incredible job. And the biggest thing to remember is today, like every day, you're doing and you're learning. So just take everything that you've heard today and apply it to what you do tomorrow.
That's
right. Lovely, guys. It was an absolute pleasure working with everybody. And thank you again, everyone, for being part of this amazing event.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye. See you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.